Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regulatory recourse for any loss from such transactions.
Well, the countdown for Ethereum merge has finally begun, and we'll be discussing a lot of factors linked with it. That becomes our main discussion of the show. This is called Coffee and Crypto. I'm Arun Singh. We'll start the show with big stories of the week. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has urged the International Monetary Fund to take lead in the issue of cryptocurrency. The minister urged for a global coordinated and synchronized approach on the assets regulation. This is during a meeting with the IMF Managing Director in New Delhi, as tweeted by the ministry. Moving on to the next story, the Bellatrix update has been successfully activated on Ethereum's beacon chain. As I just mentioned, Ethereum runs on proof of work and is set to move to proof of stake after the merge, which is expected to kick in sometime between 13 to 15 September. Moving on to the next story, Seba Bank, a crypto-friendly bank in Switzerland, announced the launch of Ethereum staking for its institutional investors. The bank said that the move caters to growing demand from institutions to manage a range of digital assets, yield use cases from staking to DeFi by providing flexible rewards and adjustable lock-up periods following Ethereum's merge event. Moving on to the next story, as reported by Cointelegraph, local news agency reports suggest that the Bank of Russia, the nation's central bank, has acknowledged that given the geopolitical climate at the moment, cross-border crypto transfers are inevitable. So it's moving towards legalizing the cryptocurrency in the country. The Russian central bank has been rethinking the approach to regulating crypto and agreed with the finance ministry to legalize crypto for cross-border payments, and that's what these reports have suggested. The last story, and this is very important and will also form a base to what we're going to talk next, which is the Ethereum merge, because it concerns the environment, and that has been the essence of the Ethereum merge. So in March this year, in an executive order, US President Joe Biden made clear that the responsible development of digital assets include reducing negative climate impacts and environmental pollution. Now, an interdisciplinary committee of experts has assessed the impact and come out with a report, and here are a few of the highlights. As of August 2022, published estimates of the total global electricity usage for crypto assets are between 120 and 240 billion kilowatt hours per year. Bitcoin and Ether combined represent more than 60% of total crypto asset market capitalization. The United States is estimated to host about a third of global crypto asset operations, which currently consume about 0.9% to 1.7% of the total US electricity usage. This range of electricity usage is similar to all home computers or residential lighting in the United States. The report recommends further research to improve understanding and innovation. So definitely there's a huge environmental cost when we talk about cryptocurrency, and that's why Ethereum came up with the merge. How is it going to save the environment? What is this merge all about? Are there any disadvantages or challenges linked to it? We'll explore all of that in our discussion and explainer, but for that, we'll go for our coffee wall. Go. But before we begin, let's have a quick sip of the coffee. Lovely. Countdown to the Ethereum merge has begun. The Bellatrix update has been successfully activated on Ethereum's beacon chain. Bellatrix is the update to the Ethereum virtual machine, the part of the network that hosts the dApps, which is decentralized apps. Now, the Ethereum blockchain's merge is officially underway and will likely kick in sometime between September 13 to 16, as shared via tweet by Ethereum's co-founder Vitalik Buterin. He wrote, "The merge is still expected to happen around September 13 to 15. What's happening today is the Bellatrix hard fork, which prepares the chain for the merge. Still important though, make sure to update your clients." The blockchain currently runs on proof of work and is set to move to proof of stake after the merge. The Bellatrix upgrade, the network's final hard fork before the merge, was activated on Tuesday. Last month, Ethereum merged its Goerli test network from proof of work to proof of stake, marking the third and final rehearsal for the mainnet merge. Now don't worry, because you're hearing all these terms, so we'll decode these terms that you'll also hear in our discussion that is to follow. And number one is hard fork. What is hard fork? A hard fork is a radical change to a network's protocol that makes previously invalid blocks and transactions valid, or vice versa. So when the shift happens, you hear this a lot, the blockchain diverges it into two different paths on a hard fork. And then there's TTD, terminal total difficulty. What's that? Well, it's a cumulative difficulty threshold required of the final block mined in Ethereum. Don't get confused. To simplify, it's a number which is set at a value that represents the difficulty of all mined Ethereum blocks. Once that number is reached or achieved, the network will merge its execution layer with the new proof of stake consensus layer, allowing the chain to continue on with a new system for issuing and authenticating blocks of transactions. Now, proof of stake, proof of work, this comes in this conversation every single time, and I have always explained it to you. A quick explainer on this as well. Well, proof of stake is a type of consensus mechanism which is used by blockchains to achieve distributed consensus. It is a way to validate transactions, but it uses the consensus mechanism. You stake your part to actually gain that power. In proof of work, miners prove they have capital at risk by expending energy. So they're really working, their machines are working to solve the arithmetic problems and then validate transactions. So this actually uses a huge amount of electricity, and that is when the problem really started. Proof of work is known to exhaust a lot of environmental resources, and that is why this merge is also happening. But what is a merge now, and why is it called a merge? Well, the merge represents the Ethereum network's shift to proof of stake for authenticating transactions, replacing proof of work, the more energy intensive method. You've also been seeing that diagram as well, which is, of course, we've picked from Ethereum's website, which shows the merge, which shows two different chains, and slowly and steadily, gradually, it's actually navigating from one chain to the another. Now, Ethereum had a proof of stake network called the Beacon chain, but it is not yet used for processing transactions. It's essentially just a staging area for computers operating the Ethereum network to prepare for the proof of stake upgrade. Ethereum's full transition to proof of stake requires merging the Beacon chain with Ethereum's old proof of work mainnet. So there has to be a gradual shift, and hence this merge was devised. But what happens? What changes after this merge? According to the Ethereum Foundation, the merge will cut the network's energy usage by 99.95%. That's massive. At the point of the merge, the difficulty level on Ethereum's proof of work network will increase to the point where mining new blocks will no longer be possible. Several exchanges have suspended trading of both Ethereum and ERC20 tokens till the Ethereum merge gets completed. So that's an important information if you hold Ethereum. Will the Ethereum transaction speed increase significantly after the merge? Well, the answer is yes, but it will not be very significant. Will the gas fees reduce after the Ethereum merge? No. According to the Ethereum Foundation, the network's upcoming proof of stake transit fee upgrade will not reduce the gas fees. Will there be a hard fork? We'll take this question to our guests. So let's open this for discussion. We have with us Ashish Anand, founder and CEO of Brew Finance. And we also have Rohas Nagpal, Chief Blockchain Architect, Hybrid Finance Blockchain, that's Hi-Fi Blockchain. A very warm welcome, gentlemen. I want to begin with you, Rohas. So we've explained all of this. First, will there be a hard fork? And if you can also give your definition of hard fork, just to simplify it in your own words.
Sure. I think 99.9% there will be a hard fork. So what happens when you are talking about a proof of work blockchain, there are different miners. Now, when you push a change in the system, like moving from proof of work to proof of stake, it is up to the miners whether they want to do that or not. So a large number of miners have decided under the Tron founders group that they are going to hard fork, and then there will be two Ethereums emerging. So there will be the regular one, which is ETH, and then they are talking about the new one called ETHW. So that's the Ethereum proof of work version. And they say they will copy the entire data, like the entire state, the applications, everything onto the new platform. So we can expect to see two blockchains emerging.
Mr. Anand, those who hold Ether, do you have any tips for them or something that they should keep in mind before this merge happen or maybe after?
So because Ethereum, when the merge happens, of course, we are going to get a new chain, and hence it is advisable, because it is, if, as Rohas mentioned, that there is also a possibility of ETHW emerging, which means new ETHW tokens can be airdropped. And if that happens, you need to have your Ethereum in your wallets and nowhere else. So if as an Ethereum user, you have your Ethereum on exchanges, if you have put it on the staking platforms, etc., then you will not get those airdrops. So it will be important for them to transfer it to the wallets which they own in self-custody wallets, so that they can get benefit of any sort of airdrop that comes after the Ethereum merge.
Rohas, what would be your tips? And do you want to elaborate the airdrop phenomena that Mr. Anand has been mentioning?
Sure. So as we know, an airdrop is when free crypto is given to you. Usually this happens in new projects which are trying to promote themselves as a marketing technique.
Sure.
But in existing platforms, an airdrop happens when we have a hard fork, and suddenly there are two blockchains. So, you know, earlier it happened with Bitcoin, that Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, they forked. So everybody who had a certain amount of BTC automatically got exact amount of BCH. So you can sort of consider like a one-to-one bonus given by a company. So at that time, it is very important that you are having the Bitcoin or Ethereum in this case in your own wallet, so that at that same address where you're holding ETH, you will get the new token also.
Mr. Anand, do you see any challenge in Ethereum network's way? It's a massive exercise.
Certainly, it's a massive exercise. But as we saw that earlier also, long back, when the DAO hack had happened, that ETC and ETH, two hard fork have happened, and ETH had emerged as a clear winner at that time. So certainly, and right now miners are also not willing to let go of their machines which they have accumulated. So certainly there will be some challenges, but I believe that given the decentralized nature of, and we have already had successful test solutions already done on the beacon chain. So those will be taken care of. Certainly some teething problem will remain. There will be, for some time, there will be confusion which chain is going to emerge as the largest chain, which is the original blockchain, and so on. But I mean, in my opinion, not very big challenges which the Ethereum community cannot take care of.
Okay. Rohas, this is also huge for the crypto universe as well, the cryptoverse as we call it. Can we expect any changes in the ecosystem?
Sure. So now I'm hoping that a lot more institutional investors will step in, because the amount of power usage of the Ethereum platform is going to go down by 99.5%. So because of that, now I hope a lot more institutions will start to step in and, you know, use the blockchain networks. So I think that would be a very big plus.
But then there are some concerns when it comes to proof of stake mechanism as well. So does that remain there?
Sure. So I'll be very honest personally, that is my biggest apprehension, that see, proof of work has been tested across more than a decade because of Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum, so many top blockchains running on it. Now for the first time we are seeing such a massive level change where an Ethereum sized platform is changing consensus. Now that's never happened before. So it may lead to problems that we have not even envisaged, and if the security is hit and the system goes down, I think that would be very disastrous.
Mr. Anand, last few seconds on this discussion. Do you see any concerns regarding proof of stake?
Certainly proof of stake is a bit concerning from a decentralized perspective, because it means that if you are rich, you have more votes. As simple as that. Of course, the proof of work also went into that direction, but theoretically that was not the concern with the proof of work. Anybody could have become a miner. Sure. In proof of stake, you need to have minimum certain staking power, and that tilts the power of consensus in favor of those who are having big Ethereum balances in their wallets.
Right.
So that's certainly a concern from decentralized perspective.
So with proof of stake, you know, that essence of blockchain, which is decentralization, is at stake. Thank you so very much for this discussion. Rohas, stay with us as we move on to our next segment. That's MCQ, My Crypto Queries. We have Ajit's queries, who's asking, will Terra Luna return?
not return, but I would still not advise you to delete it out of anger. If you are holding it, just let it be in your wallet and forget about it. Maybe there's a 0.001% chance it may come back, but I don't think so.
Shanun Sari is asking future of DGTX.
I think that is a failed project and you should not be investing in it.
Okay, next question. What about PLX Ultima growth?
Sure. So PLC Ultima, when we talk about that, enables merchants from around the world to sell their products for cryptocurrency. So it's kind of, you can consider it like an advanced level payment gateway. So while definitely it is doing a good work and merchants can use it if they want to accept crypto payments, I am not recommending that you invest in the token. If it helps your business, definitely use the platform, but I would not invest in it.
Okay, best and cheapest crypto to invest. That's what Praveen is asking.
Quite
a broad question.
So I would simply say, if you are new to the market, start with airdrops. There are lots of very good sites which for free will tell you all the new crypto projects that are coming, where you can get free cryptos by just clicking a few buttons, following them on social media. And that is, I think, the best way to go. But never use the approach of best and cheapest crypto. Those are two very contradictory terms in themselves. If it's a very good project, it won't be cheap. If it's very cheap, maybe it's not a good project.
Well, thank you so very much, Rohas, for joining us and answering all our questions. With this, we're slipping into a very short break. But we discuss crypto vacations after the break. What is it and how can you be on a crypto vacation? We'll ask our guests as well. Stay with us. Hi, you're watching Coffee and Crypto, and now we'll be discussing crypto vacations. First, let's explain what is crypto vacation. Well, it's the talk of the town. From booking flights to booking hotels, when done with cryptocurrencies, makes your vacation crypto vacation. As simple as that. There are some advantages linked to it. Number one is promotion of the tech. Every time you take a trip, you go to some location and you're using cryptocurrency. There's of course that chatter around, and then there's more discussion probably with the one you're dealing with, and that of course promotes the tech. Number two, building of a community. When you deal in cryptocurrency with like-minded people, of course it builds a community. And the third advantage is the real-life usage of assets. You're not only keeping something in some storage for 5 years or 6 years, you're actually putting it to some good use. But then there are some challenges of crypto vacation. First is long processing time. Sometimes, handing over cash is pretty easy, simple, especially when you're on the move, when you're traveling. But when you're on blockchain, of course, there can be quick transactions, but there's a procedure to it, and which can take time. Number two is secure user authentication. That's another challenge because, you never know who's this person dealing in cryptocurrency. They can be thieves in disguise. And usually a lot of users want to stay anonymous. And in the travel industry, it's important to have the identity revealed as well. So that's another challenge. Now we'll also quickly mention some popular players in this space. There's Traveler.com, which has emerged as the leader among the handful of online booking sites that accept crypto. Then there's an airline, Air Baltic, that lets you book flights directly with crypto. And then there's a chic luxury resort in the Swiss Alps that lets guests pay with Bitcoin or Ethereum. There are more: Cheap Air, Travel by Bit, Bitcoin.travel, and eTravel Smart. And the most popular destination for crypto vacations is El Salvador, and I don't need to explain why, because they have accepted cryptocurrency as their official currency. With us is Om Malviya, President Tezos India, to talk about this more. Mr. Om, crypto vacation sounds absolutely fun, but is it really fun? Are there any real life challenges you see or have encountered?
Well, I have done crypto vacation,
Lovely.
Maybe some travel a little bit.
Please tell us about your experience.
Yeah, so if you're thinking in terms of, let's say, the local experience, like you can go to any cafe or have any, go to Starbucks, anywhere else, that's a bit tricky.
Okay.
But there are some ways around it. So if you want to do it, one best way to do is like using Traveler and book all your hotels, flight, everything in advance, which you can pre-book. And then there are some Bitcoin ATMs in Switzerland. There are some restaurants in Singapore where you can go and pay in cryptocurrencies, right? So that you can sort of try to get that experience. Other very popular way is like Binance, Crypto.com. These kind of exchanges also issue credit cards. So what you can do is, let's say if you are holding a lot of stable coins, you could use those cards essentially to pay at any cafe wherever you want. The advantage here is you don't have to convert your crypto in the native currency. If you are holding dollar, it's USD, and you can spend them just as simply as like spending money from a credit card or debit card. So I think that's a more convenient way if you want to do some less risky way. Let's say if you don't want to spend your Bitcoin, because hey, Bitcoin, everybody wants to hold Bitcoin. Right. So I think these are some ways you can really do that.
But are you saying that you go for it if you don't want any risky transaction? Are you saying that, or are you saying there are risks involved in this kind of transaction?
No, I meant, let's say, if you want convenience and if you don't want to spend your Bitcoin and Ether, you can just hold your stable coins in, let's say, an exchange, and you can use that exchange credit card or debit card, whatever I have, to pay for anywhere. Because
But do you see any risk or challenges, especially for the agencies, especially for these travel setups?
I don't. So necessarily the risks and challenges are not that high. It depends upon, again, it depends on a lot of things. Like, are you a mediator, like you're facilitating travel booking, hotel booking, flight booking, and then where are you located in, and how are you doing on the backend side? How are you doing the conversion? How are you making sure you are doing the KYC, if you are following the KYC, AML laws, etc., etc.
Any tips you want to give to beginners who want to use their cryptocurrencies for vacations?
I think the best way is traveler.com. I've used it. You can also, if you're using, let's say, there is also this kind of currency, you can get 10% discount as well to being a first user. And it's pretty easy. I mean, it's pretty convenient. You can book your hotels, you can book your flights. You can almost book 90% of all your most expensive expenses on your trip, which is hotel and flight. And then maybe you can go around carrying a credit or debit card of a crypto exchange to pay it wherever you want. But if you want a specific Bitcoin experience, then I would say El Salvador is the way to go.
Okay, we also have Mr. Ashish Anand joining us for this conversation. Of course, we had a chat with him just before the break. Mr. Anand, let's talk about crypto vacations in context of our own country, where this entire industry is not regulated. Then government also goes towards classifying it as an asset class. Of course, none of it is confirmed, but they don't want to encourage it as a payment mode, is what we've really sensed. Do you see its future in our country?
Well, if RBI has its way, certainly cryptocurrencies as a payment mode will be very difficult to become a reality in India. So RBI has a major, because RBI has the power as well as the responsibility to manage the currency situation and the inflation in India, monetary situation and inflation in India. They are very concerned about not having control on the cryptocurrencies, which can become a payment mode. So RBI has certainly its problem with crypto being a payment mode, and it may be difficult in those circumstances. So let's wait for the bill, what the bill says when the bill comes up.
Sure. Om, very quickly, last few seconds of this conversation. Do you see any buzz around crypto vacation in the country?
I don't think so. There's a huge demand as of in the overall sector. I haven't seen this growing. It's a nice to have instead of a must have, in my opinion.
Sure. Thank you so very much, gentlemen. That's all the time that we had for this show and this segment. With this, we've come to the end of this show. I'm Arun Singh. It's goodbye from my side. Keep watching NDTV.
Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regulatory recourse for any loss from such transactions.